Rated T for teen. Game reviews.
This is Yo Noid. It's a game based on me, the Noid. But what is this game about? Well, that's what I want to find out. Put it in, Spax.
No problem, Noid. Okay, there you are on the opening screen holding a yo-yo.
I guess hence the title, Yo Noid.
Yeah, and applause, evil creatures and villains are being led by Mr. Green, who is your clone.
You mean the guy who was on front of the box?
Yep.
Why a plot with an evil twin? That's one of the most cliché concepts ever.
Well, for the most part, when does a story really matter in an 8-bit game?
I guess you have a point, so let's just check out the gameplay.
Okay, here's the map screen, there's 14 levels to beat. Let's start with your basic controls. A obviously jumps, B fires your yo-yo.
Okay, what about my life bar? How many hits can I take?
Just one.
Just one?!
Well, yeah, it's a one-hit death game.
But don't you think that's a little unfair?
Well, the only part I'm going to say yes to that on is that there are no checkpoints in the levels. But in all honesty, the speed, controls, levels, and enemies are evened out so that it's not really that hard of a game. I mean, it's difficult and challenging, which is as it should be, but it's not really any harder than Mega Man, Contra, or Castlevania. Actually, I find this game a little easier than them, as well as one of the few that got one-hit death games right.
Alright, what about the end of the levels, like bosses and such?
Okay, well, in the boss battles, you face against one of your clones.
So I have more than one? What were they smoking when they came up with it? Wait a minute, what am I doing in front of a pizza parlor? Pizza eating contest? Oh god, this better not be what I think it is!
Damn it.
I'm eating pizzas!
Okay, just calm down.
What sick bastard thought of this?!
I can name a few. The first one's probably Domino's Pizza so they can use this game as a marketing ploy.
I'll murder them!
Yeah, you've tried before and that's worked out well for you.
Shut up!
And the other one is some person who thought of a ninja game and thought of these as card-based ninja battles.
Well, they... Wait, what?
Yeah, this is a modified version of another game in Japan.
Okay, can you show me this ninja game?
I will, but after I explain your version of the game.
Okay, I guess the first thing would be, how do you play this horrible, insulting pizza eating contest?
Okay, let's rewind a bit so I can show you. Now the obvious goal is to eat more pizzas than your opponent, and here's how this works. First, your opponent chooses a card. Now it's your turn, and you gotta pick a card with a number higher than the number on the card your opponent picked. As you saw, he picked one pizza, you picked 3. You get the 2 additional pizzas that are higher than the number 1, so you get 2 pizzas.
Okay, so I get to eat the number of pizzas minus the number my opponent picked.
Exactly. Let me also explain the bonus cards. When you select the card with the 2 Roman numeral, it allows you to double the amount of the card you choose. Like if you choose 3, then you'll have 6 pizzas. The number 3 Roman numeral does the same thing as the number 2 Roman numeral, except this one triples the number of pizzas you choose. Using the pepper will prevent your opponent from eating any of the pizzas he chooses, therefore forcing him to waste his cards. That's another thing I need to state. The first one to lose their cards will likely lose. The red pepper has the same effect, except your opponent actually gets to eat the pizzas first, so if he's near a high score, you gotta make sure you don't use it then. But if you use it when he won't get the high score, then he'll just vomit out the pizzas after he eats them.
That's gross.
Well, let me explain how you get these bonus cards. If you run around the levels, you'll find a few, but you really have to keep attacking the air with your yo-yo to make them appear. And as each layer pizza eating contest gets harder and harder, it's best to save your bonus cards for the later ones where it really matters. And try to use them as rarely as possible and only when really necessary. Now let's talk about the other stuff. Level 2 is covered in ice, so everything's pretty much going to be slippy slidey. In level 3, you're going to be skating on a skateboard. And there's 2 ways to attack in this level. One is jump and hit enemies with your skateboard. The other way is roll fast and flash. That makes you invincible while you're flashing. Also, a piece of advice, always take the top part in this area of the level instead of the bottom part. Now here's something interesting in level 4. You get to have a moment using your good old trusty pizza crusher.
Kick ass.
There's many other levels in the game, but none of them I really have to explain any further. Except for this one where you have to keep pushing the A button to use your propeller pack. Now let's talk about the spells and spell scrolls.
Spells and spell scrolls? Okay, this raises my interest. What are they, Spax?
This is your scroll bar. You fill it by collecting these small scrolls, which fills up 1 block, or these big scrolls, which fills up 5 blocks. You can also hit the big scrolls open with your yo-yo to reveal the following. The Crusher spell will destroy all enemies on the ground, but not in the air. It takes up 5 blocks of your scroll bar. The Flash spell kills all enemies on the screen, but it takes up 10 blocks, which is half the entire scroll bar. The yo-yo spell makes your yo-yo faster and go farther, and it kills all enemies who touch the yo-yo. It only takes up 2 blocks of your scroll bar. The Noid spell will turn you all black and make you faster and jump higher and farther, and it takes up 5 blocks of your scroll bar. The Noid spell actually becomes very handy in the carousel stage when you have to jump over horses over a bottomless pit. To activate the spells, you push down and B on your controller. There are 2 other things you can uncover by attacking the big scrolls. One is a 1-up, which gives you an extra life. There's also Capcom's infamous Yashichi, which makes you invincible for a short amount of time.
I have to say, Spax, I had my doubts, but from what you've shown me, this game's not bad. Anything else you have to address?
Just one more thing, pretty much. There's a whack-a-mole game you can play if you jump in just the right area. I've only found a couple of these in the game, but if you beat them, it'll allow you to instantly beat the level. In one area, if you manage to beat it, it allows you to skip a pizza eating contest.
Where's that?
In the abandoned building, but it's a lot harder than the first one in the ice stage. I think there's 1 or 2 more whack-a-mole stages in the game, but I don't really know where they are.
Okay, you pretty much covered the whole game. Now what about the original Ninja game this game was adapted from?
Okay, I did promise you. Here you go, Masked Ninja Hanamaru. Quickly, let me show you some of the differences. In this version, you play as a fat-ass ninja midget, and he plays just like you, except for the fact that instead of a yo-yo, he attacks with a bird. For the most part, the level design's completely the same, but most of the places take place in a different setting. The most interesting difference, I feel, is the change from the haunted house to the abandoned building in Noid. Another thing to note is the music in most of the levels is the same in both games, but there are some areas where it's different as well.
Yeah. That's all nice and stuff, but I want to know about the card-based battles.
Okay. Here we go. Why don't you talk about the differences you like better?
Well, I can say I like the music a lot better. Also, you're using actual weapons in this. You're not eating pizzas. Why couldn't they have done this with me? Why couldn't they have me use my pizza crusher, my spells, and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'll give you that. The last thing I need to mention for this review is that you fight against many different characters, not just clones of the same one.
Now that really pisses me off. I have to eat pizzas and fight against clones of myself, while this chubby ninja kid fights against different characters and uses weapons. What a joke!
Okay, I guess I'll give you that too. Well, I feel for a great game, with a lot of good gameplay, good challenge, and the only real flaw being no checkpoints, I feel this game should deserve a 9 out of 10.
Not so fast, Spax.
Huh?
While I can agree it's a pretty good game and a good challenge, I can't let go of the errors like me eating pizza and the stupid plot of clones of me, especially when compared to Hanamaru. I have to give the game a 7 out of 10.
Oh, come on, Noid. It was a game for the 8-bit era. I feel a lot of them had mistakes like that at that time. Can't we just go with the 9 out of 10? I say, give it.
Look, I know it's one of your favorites, but the game is based on me, and I have to judge it based on that as well. 7 out of 10.
9!
7!
9!
7!
9!
7!
9!
Will you two shut the hell up? Look, both of you make valid points on the game. So to even things out, I'll give Yo Noid a simple 8 out of 10.